Welcome everyone to the session for the self-assessment. So if you are self-employed, you have to submit your tax return. So today we're going to see how can exactly submit the tax return through the government gateway. So to log into our account, we need the government gateway ID and the password. And once we have it, we just hit on the sign in button. It will take us to the HMRC Tax Services account. And as soon as we log in there, we can see the home page here. And from here, we need to see which account is due. So we can say this is the account, complete and submit the tax return for 2019 and 20. So we'll click there and it will take us to the main page. The first question they're going to ask you, self-employed business. Were you in partnership? The answer is no. Did you receive any income from the land and property? If you have a property in UK, you might say yes, then you have to enter the information, how much you're getting from the property, all of this. If not, the answer is no. Then it will ask you if you receive any foreign income, no. Any disposal of chargeable asset that is relevant to your capital gain tax. If it is no, it is no. Then it will take you to the next page. It will ask you, did you receive any interest? For example, if you have any savings account, did you receive any interest? For me, the answer is no. Did you receive any dividend? For me, the answer is no. Did you receive any UK pension, state benefit? For me, the answer is no. Child benefit, other income, income tax losses? For me, there was no losses, so I will say no. Are you liable to pension tax saving charge? For me, it is no. Most of the case, all of this answer is no for 99% people. So page number 3, we have few more questions. Personal pension contribution for the retirement annuity, no. Did you give charity? No. Sometimes if you give the charity, they will give you some tax saving, so you can do that as well if you give any charity. If you or your spouse civil partner born before 1935, no. You can transfer always the personal allowance 10% to your wife, or wife can transfer to you. That will help you to save some tax. But if you want to do it, you can say yes. If you are not married, if you don't have a civil partner, you can say no. Do you want to claim other tax relief? For me, the answer is no. Have you had any 1920 income tax refund? For me, the answer is no. Do you have a tax advisor? No, we are doing ourselves. Have you used one or more tax avoidance scheme? No. Do you need to disclose an income? No. Are you acting in a capacity of on behalf of someone? No. Then you move to the next page. Then it will ask you some more information about your income, then how much you earn. So pay from this company. So 605 UK tax taken off. So how much tax you already paid is optional. If you paid, then you can write it down. If not, no. Then where a director of the company, are you the director of the company? The answer is no for me. So have you received any taxable benefit? For me, the answer is no. Do you wish to claim any employment expense? For me, the answer is no. So we save and continue, move to the next page. On the next page, they will have a blank space. If I want to write anything that additional information about the employment, I can write it down, but it's optional. I don't want to write anything. So save and continue. Then I'll move to the next section. This says my annual income. So did you have annual turnover 85,000 or more? The answer is no, because if I say yes, it will take me to the VAT page because 85,000 is the VAT threshold. If I said yes, it will ask me for the VAT registration, all of this. Then from here, the foster carer, this thing is a farmer, fisherman. This is a very, very rare for all of us. It is, unless it is relevant to you, you don't have to tick anything. You can say none of this apply to you. Then we do save and continue to the next page. Here we have to write the business name. It could be your name or it could be the business name. What is the business? About the description, that could be your business description. We're writing the security. The postcode is optional. You can write. If you don't write, there is no problem for that. Has your business name, description, address, or postcode changed last 12 months? You can say yes or no, whatever you like. For me, we write no. Then if your business started after 5th April, then you can write the date. Did your business cease trading after 5th April 2009 but before 6th April 2020? You said no, we are still working on it. If you want to say no, obviously, like if you say yes, then it will means it is closed. Then it will ask you the detail up to which period you want to show the accounts. Normally the date is up to 5th of April. Then the next question we have, did you use the cash basis? Cash basis means whatever money you have received actually and whatever money you have paid already, you want to declare only that transaction. And for the self-employed, the answer is always yes, because we don't use the accrual basis like the limited company accounts. For the self-assessment, we always use the cash basis. The next one we have here that we're going to see the next section, income. So for us, the example is income is 11,232. Do you have any other income that is not included? Is optional. Trading income allowance is optional. You don't have to write anything. Then on the expense section, we have a two section. One is as a single total value, and we have a breakdown. You can write every single expense breakdown, or you can write total expense that we have in a total figure. So the total expense, for example, allowable for me as example 127. So 11,232 minus 127, that gives me the net profit of 11,105, and my tax will be calculated on that amount. Then we go the next page, that is save and continue. Then I have more option, investment allowance. I have a small business unrelieved expenditure, capital allowance. If you buy some plant and machinery or any type of van, that will give you the first year allowance. You can write it down here. For me, I don't have anything. If you buy a building structure or anything, so most of the case is not for you, so you don't have to do anything. Just move to the next section. The next section we have here, other tax adjustment for me. You can see here good and service for own use is optional. I don't have anything. Still my net profit is 11,105. Then any loss, if I can brought down from the last year, I can offset from here or from this year. Any other business income already included is optional, so I have nothing. So I will say save and continue. Then we'll move to the next section. Any loss from this year or last year. Remember, if you're a self-employed, you can always carry forward your loss for the last 3 years. So if you have any, you can do that. But for me, we have a profit, so you don't have to do anything. Don't have to fill anything. Then the tax deduction again, if you work as a constructor, for example, for the CIC company as a construction, sometimes the agency, they take tax from your income, from the gross income, 20% or 30%. So if they already deduct 20% or 30% from your income, we can write it down how much you already paid. But for me, it's not. I work for the construction industry, so it's optional for me. It's not relevant for me. So I move to the next section. Then class 4 calculation. So if you have anything apply on you, so for any reason, if you feel you are exempt, so normally this is very rare, you are exempt not to pay like class 4 national insurance. Most 99% people need to pay class 4 national insurance, but if you think any of this apply for you, you can always check. But otherwise you said none of this apply, then you save and continue to the next section. Then you have another empty box. You can write it down any information that is relevant to your income. If you don't have any, you don't have to. You can move to the next section. The next section, it will tell us the summary of the calculation. So we can see our total income is 11,232. Total expense is 127. Profit is 11,105. So this is my net profit. After that, I will do save and continue. If everything is correct, I'll move on to the next section. The next section, we have the class 2 national insurance that is fixed is £3 per week. So if someone profit is less than 6,365, you don't have to pay, but if it is more, you have to pay £3 per week. Or you can contribute some volunteer contribution. If you said, even though my income is less than the threshold, but I still want to make some contribution as a volunteer, you can always do that. So for me, it is not, so I'll come down. So after that, I can see the next question is asking, if your profit for 2019-20 are less than 6,356, for me it is no. Do you want to pay any class 2 voluntarily. I said no, I don't want to pay any voluntarily because my profit is more than that anyway. I will pay the class 2 national insurance. Then the next question I have, underpaid tax include PA coding. This section basically tell us amount of underpaid. Did I paid, like, do you have any underpaid figure for the tax for the earliest year, including your tax year 6 April 2019 to 20? So normally, if you have any tax due from the last year or from PAYE notice, it shows here. But for me, the figure is zero. I don't have any underpaid figure or any overpaid figure, so it is zero. I said the figure is zero. I said is it correct? It is yes. Then we move to the next section. So we have the same question again for like the PAYE coding. Is this figure zero is correct? We said yes. The figure should be zero. We have no problem for that. After that, we have any other type of debt. We said no, we don't have any other debt. Sometimes the council give you earning attachment or different type of debt. If you have any, you can include here. If you don't have, you don't have. So here the next section is, if you want to if you basically expect any tax back from HMRC, so where the money will come. So you can write yourself, you can write the nominee, or if it is not applicable, you can write not applicable. Normally when you have a profit, you have to pay the tax, you don't get it back, but you can write all as yourself. There is no problem for that, but here you can also mention not applicable because you're not going to receive any tax from them anyway. And on the next section, we can see here, if you have not paid enough tax, so what will happen if I don't pay enough tax? So this is the section I said, if you owe less than £3,000 for 6 April, so this is not applicable for me. So if you have not paid enough tax, this section may be helpful for you to read for understanding. But we don't have any tax due, so we said save and continue. But most of the time, you don't have any tax due anyway. Then tax adjustment to tax. So if you want to say increase in tax due to because of adjustment earlier, so if you made any adjustment during the year, you can always do some adjustment here. But if you don't have, you don't have to. It's all the options. So you don't have to do anything. For me, I don't have any tax adjustment. I never resubmit the account. So for me, it just continue. Then we have, does this return contain a provisional figure? The answer is no. Provisional figure is like when you are not sure about like how much a tax will be. It's estimate. You said like my tax will be or my income will be estimated 10,000. But for us, we know exactly how much was income till 5th of April. So we exactly write the accurate date, whatever, how much we receive as income and how much is the expense. So we are not putting the provisional figure, we are writing the absolute or accurate figure. So for me, the answer is no. Then we move to the next section. On the next section, we have a blank page again. You can write it down if you need to, but it's not, you have to use options. Do you want to add any attachment? You can attach any file if you think that is relevant to your income and expense. Then we can see the detail. So after that, I will see the summary. They say check your return. So the return is from 6th of April till 5th of April 2020. All this answer has to be entered. So all the information we have enter. If I see anything is missing, then I have to see okay. So we have to fill it up. So everything has to be entered and entered. Then we move to the next page. That will take us the summary. Now the payment on account, you see, is zero. If you have like tax, this is like tax in advance. Payment on account means like you paid some tax in advance because you're expecting the same amount of income next year. So your income and the tax will be same. So HMRC said you have to pay some tax in advance, but you can always make it zero. You can always reduce it zero if you said next year my income will be lower. So on the next section you can see it. If you don't want to pay any tax in advance, you can always make it zero. You can say next year my income will be less than that, so this amount will be gone. So only the tax due will be £380. And the second payment on account, so there is two payment on our account that you have to pay HMRC in advance. First, by 31st of January, that with your self-assessment tax. The next one is 31st of July, that will pay after 6 months. But you can make it zero if you say the next year the income will be lower than this year. Then you move to the next section, save and continue, and it will give you the option. So the return is now ready. You can view it on a copy with that. You can say, okay, save and continue. and after that it will take you to the final section. You can click here, yes, everything is correct, I understand everything, and you can click the hit the submit button. Is done. So that's how you can submit your tax return from the beginning to end. Of course, if you are confused about any question, you can check with HMRC always. And if something is you are not sure like it is relevant to me or not, you can always check. But this is the way you can submit your tax return if you are self-employed. And the deadline is 31st of January every year. So if you are ready to submit, if you have all the workings, income and expense, you can submit the way I showed you.